Evening, everyone. I can see that we've got some rolling in. We might just give it a couple more seconds while people join us. Thanks so much for coming along. Give it 30 more seconds, although maybe while the last ones dial in, I'll make sure all my screens are lined up. All right. Well, while we kind of get started, I'll do the brief openings. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for a bit of our launch webinar and Q&A session about our Mentoring for Leadership and Career Impact program and pilot. And particularly thank you all for participating in the pilot. I might just throw Prof T on mute for a sec. There we go. I'm joining you from the lands of the Yagara and Ngurrupul people and pay my respects to elders past and present, and acknowledge any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on the call and all the many lands from which you're joining us either live now or watching this recording later on. Today officially launches the pilot for the AMA Mentoring for Leadership programs targeted specifically for international medical graduates, and really excited to be in partnership with Monash University to deliver this pilot program. This pilot was really a direct result of there were some research findings into that we had and others have conducted into the IMG experiences and needs facing international medical graduates right across the country. We know that IMGs are such a valuable part of our healthcare system, but that it can be quite daunting to enter a new healthcare system. And one of the key findings out of that research was a need for more mentoring, career progression support throughout your careers. And I think that, and it was partly from this research itself, you told us that without strong professional networks, there was a real risk of feeling isolated and not succeeding in your career the way you might otherwise be able to. So that was where this pilot came from, and I'm really excited about it, because I think there's so many mentorship programs out there that might be about matching or specific, linking people up with others, whereas this is really about the skills it takes to be a mentor or a mentee, and hopefully establishes the ability to have lifelong mentorship relationships that may change with time, but you've got that underpinning skill. So I'm really excited to see what the outcomes of this pilot are looking like. I would really like to participate if we open this more broadly next year, but it was a hot topic, this one. We were fully at capacity within 24 hours of opening this pilot, and in fact even had to extend it a little bit, and even then there was a big wait list for the program. So thank you all for participating. The logistics, I'm sure you're across. It's 4 weeks from today, and after this session your course will be enabled, and it's an online course. Do it at your own pace. There are 3 modules which will add up to about 8 CPD hours. And I think it's always really important how we can, as a GP myself, tracking that CPD is pretty important, and a mix of that educational activities. And I expect some reflective practice in there, given that, being able to reflect on your current skills and abilities as a mentor or mentee. You will get a completion certificate at the end, and we're really looking forward to the evaluation part of this. So we are quite looking forward to your feedback, and please do provide that, because that's the whole purpose of this pilot. I will hand over in a second, because this partnership with Monash University and the Monash Centre for Health Research and Implementation has really been important for not just this pilot, but a whole range of work we've been doing around women in healthcare leadership and projects at the AMA and with AMAxMCHRI and Monash University. It's been a really valuable partnership to deliver a better AMA, I hope, and also more value to our membership and to all of you who participate in the programs. It's been evidence-based and co-design along the way, which sets it apart from other programs and really hopefully demonstrates the AMA's commitment to a really inclusive organisation. We do want to be here for all of you as our members and demonstrate the diversity and breadth of doctors right across the country, but in a way that is meaningful and useful. So I will hand over to Professor Helena Teed, who's the director of the Monash Centre for Health Research and Implementation. I always do have to look up your acronym is, and thanks, Prof. Teed.
Thanks so much, Danielle. And thanks for your leadership on this. I would concur that the AMA has been a really strong partner in this initiative. The National Centre for Advancing Women in Healthcare Leadership has got around 31 partners now, and AMA has been a really strong, committed partner throughout this journey. So in that context, we're really pleased to have co-designed and developed this mentorship module or program, which is CPD eligible. Nicole Pope will take you through as our implementation lead on a bit more of the details of the program. But what we absolutely do know is that mentoring is really important for career development. And we also know for those with intersectional challenges, for example, our IMG community, it's even more important. So for that reason, actually understanding how to find or why you would get a mentor, how to find a mentor, understanding the step-by-step processes you would do to identify one, approach them, use that relationship in a really constructive way, both to inform your mentors about the challenges you experience in the system, because in fact there's reciprocal learning here. And it's really important, especially for our IMGs, that some of our senior people who don't necessarily appreciate your challenges get to learn those challenges on the journey, whilst also you get to be mentored and establish those career networks, and ultimately potentially also get to have a broader network, but also maybe move on to a sponsorship arrangement where those mentors can actually strongly advocate for you in your career pathway and open doors that may otherwise not be there. So the really critical thing about mentoring is that it is really, really important for career success and to break into networks where perhaps you've come from, you haven't necessarily come from an Australian trained university, you don't necessarily have those larger work networks. And that's actually a real barrier. So understanding the evidence-based steps for why mentoring is important, what it is, how to do it well, both for you as getting a mentor, but actually how you are also can mentor others, and how you can think about scaling that so that others around you can also be able to leverage that knowledge and perhaps get themselves mentors as well if you can champion for those around you. So this program was co-designed, as Danielle said, it's evidence-based and very much co-designed with AMA, but also with our broader partners. And so in going through this pilot, we're really looking forward to your feedback, and we'd like open and honest and fierce feedback along the way. The platform you're using is really usable and fantastic. So really great opportunity for you to get the information, to go through the program, to give iterative feedback as you go. And we look forward to many of you getting mentors, encouraging others to get mentors and becoming mentors yourselves, and to establishing those networks that Danielle has highlighted that AMA has very much made a priority. So we are really proud to be involved in this partnership. Please do send us your feedback, and I'm going to hand over to Nikki now.
Thanks, Helena. Thank you, Danielle. Can everyone see my screen just now? I'm sharing. I'm not used to using Teams, so please bear with me. And thanks so much for being here, everyone. I'm Nicole Pope, and as Helena said, I lead some of the implementation work that we do at MCHRI. It's really been a privilege to lead the development, co-lead the development of this mentoring program in partnership with the AMA. And what I hope to do over the next 10 minutes or so is just give you a sense of what we have developed in this program, what you can expect from it, and importantly, how we hope it will support you to think about mentoring and your intentionally mentoring and those relationships. So we know that mentoring can be incredibly powerful, as Helena has, as Helena and Danielle have pointed to, as its best, at its best, mentoring can build confidence, expand those opportunities, support your career progression and development, and strengthen the leadership capability, and help people navigate some of the more complex moments in professional lives. We also hope that good mentoring doesn't just necessarily just happen. We know that. We know that being an experienced clinician, leader, or professional doesn't automatically make someone a good mentor as well, or an effective mentor. So often being matched with a mentor automatically doesn't also necessarily guarantee that the meaningful mentor experience. So we know the literature tells us that effective mentoring requires skills, deep reflection, your clear expectations around both whether you're a mentee or mentor, and understanding what the different roles of people are and what they can play in supporting each other in their development. So this is why the program was developed. It's responding directly to AMA priorities that we see has been designed for to provide that practical evidence-informed approach to what mentoring is and how to be a good mentor. And it's got a particular focus around leadership and career development and impact. Importantly, the program isn't only for mentors. It's been designed, so there's 3 modules, and I'll walk through them in a tick just briefly, but it's been designed for mentors, mentees, and sponsors because we know each plays a different and important role. So throughout the program, you'll explore those distinctions, what it means to mentor someone, what does it mean to be an active and engaged mentee, and how is sponsorship different from mentoring, particularly when it comes to opening doors and creating opportunities. So as I said, the program consists of 3 modules. They are self-paced, approximately 8 hours in learning in total. It is designed to be flexible, so you can work through the content at your own pace. And there's no, you could do module 1, which is the foundations, to kind of get an understanding of mentoring and mentees and sponsorship and the roles. And then module 2 and 3 can be done interchangeably. So it's quite flexible, and I'd encourage you to give yourself time and space to genuinely engage with the content. There are it's not really designed for that passive learning. It's about that reflection. So we do ask throughout, you'll see that there are moments that you to stop, reflect, take notes in the system. It'll ask you to reflect on some of your some of the questions, reflect on some of your practices, and then applying your own experiences to the learning. There are toolkits that are downloadable as Word documents, and these are designed at the end of some of the core parts. There's 11 toolkits throughout where you download them and reflect within the system, but then you can take those toolkits away for you to work through. So you'll encounter reflection activities, as I've said, with some practical exercises in those tools. The focus is really on practical application. So we genuinely hope that you finish the program with ideas, thinking through ideas and some resources that you can actually use in your own practice in those mentoring relationships. You'll be encouraged to think quite deeply about questions like what makes mentoring relationship effective? How do you establish trust and psychological safety? How do mentees or mentors set those clear expectations? How do we navigate difficult conversations or challenges when we're in that mentoring relationship? And maybe we're in relationships where it may not have been working as well as you'd hoped. And importantly, how do we make sure that our mentoring contributes to greater equity and opportunity rather than simply reinforcing existing networks and potentially existing advantages? So it is also something we want we want ourselves to continue to learn and improve. So we have integrated the short pre and post survey. So before you start the program, you'll be asked to reflect on some of your, your current practices and where you're at. But also there are opportunities at the end of each program, at the end of each module for you to give us feedback about the content, how you experienced it, and it genuinely will shape the future versions of this program. And then when we formally roll it out, and we really want to understand what works for you, what resonates, what we can improve, and what other supports potentially you might what wish to see in these modules. So please do take the time to fill out that, and they are anonymous feedback. So yeah, please feel free to do that. Once you complete the program, you'll receive a certificate of completion and a digital badge. So it's a digital badge through Credly, which you can share, and and it's a thing that you can tick off and share with your colleagues. It also creates opportunities to, as previously already described, for your CPD recognition. But beyond the formal recognition, we really hope that you leave the program with something more valuable, so greater confidence and clarity about how you can contribute to meaningful mentoring relationships, whether this is as a mentee or as a mentor or as a sponsor, or perhaps all three at different stages along your career. So, yep, to get started this evening, you'll all have access to the content and it'll all open up. And the first part you'll see there's a welcome video from Danielle, and there's some information about the program. And then to unlock the content, there's that short pre-program survey. And then, yeah, start engaging and reflecting and ticking along those practical resources as you have time. The program ends, just remind me, I think it might be 18th of August is when we're asking for the last feedback, and the program will close. You'll do a post-program survey, and then at that point you'll receive your certificate and your digital badge. And that's really it from us. So what's ahead after this pilot, we'll go ahead and do our amendments, tailor the program, taking on that feedback. We're also engaging others in some co-design from a digital perspective, like how do we make this a program that is, also something that people can work with digitally, and then after, once this pilot's done, we'll be launching this as a program for any and everyone to access. So that's it from me. We really are genuinely delighted to have you all participating in the program. I hope that it's something that you find practical, probably thought-provoking, but hopefully really valuable, and we really, really genuinely look forward to hearing your feedback. And I'm passing it over to Q&A. Oh, awesome. Right on cue.
Thanks so much. Thank you. That sounds amazing. I haven't seen the details, the ins and outs of this program, and the more I see of it, the more jealous I am that I'm like, oh yeah, I do want to have a play with this. That'd be good. But it looks really engaging. So yeah, we've got plenty of time now for question and answer. It might be, there we go. I was going to say, if we can stop sharing the screen, then we can see each other.
Yeah.
This is your little team. Oh no, maybe we're back to sharing again, but we could probably stop sharing that unless you've got more slides, Daniela. But Otherwise, it's easier to see people.
I've just noticed that I don't know how to work the chat here, but
That's it.
if there is any technical side of things, like if people having access logging onto the system, I can certainly look now while we're here live to see who's got access to the system and troubleshoot any access issues if there are any. I'm happy to do that right now. As
Perfect. Well, because
opposed to
that looks
Q&A.
like in the chat, the first question is that if you can see there, Rowan's having some difficulty and hasn't had the program content
You
email
have to.
yet. So,
Okay, I
Maha,
will.
did you say yours hasn't
Yeah,
as well?
no, I don't have it too.
Okay, I have. So what was, is it Rowan? Rowan, I do have you registered. What I'll do is I will send another nudge. A little nudge is just an email to say, here's the link again. Yeah, I'll send that to, and who else? Rowan?
Maha, Selvin.
Maha.
Yeah, it might be advice to everyone is probably check spam folders.
Yeah.
I had something relatively important that I was harassing people for the other day, and lo and behold, it was there. It was just in my spam, which wasn't ideal. So so maybe double check that if it hasn't come through, and then we'll hope things.
Yeah.
And then, what's the best? That's a good question. What's the best contact email? Like, so if they're having technical issues along the way, who's the best person to contact?
As in technical issues with the
Yeah,
platform, is
with the
myself is
platform.
fine. Yeah. You
Cool.
can contact myself. I'm happy to share. Do you have my contact details there? I'm happy to share
Should
them.
do.
Yeah.
Liz, I'm sure does and can pop, or whoever had the slides, they were on the slide, but we'll pop those in the chat. Anyone,
So,
feel free to pop up your hand and talk to. We're all here. It's a bit, often we make these like webinars where you can't have your face seen, but we thought tonight it'd be nice to meet each other and see each other's faces. So feel free to put up a hand and live ask a question if you like.
I can see, well, I'm just interrupting you, but I can see that there are 21 people registered and enrolled, 12 of which have logged on to the program or accepted the registration. So I'm going to resend the invitation to the others that haven't yet. So you'll be spammed. Check your spam box because I'm sending the emails now. And it's just a little link to say welcome to the program. When registering, you'll be asked to confirm a few details. So that's the sort of generic email you'll get. And you should be getting that right now.
Helen's got a question.
They might be predicting the content a little bit, but I guess one of my questions does the course cover any tips and tricks on matching mentors and mentees and on kind of setting up that kind of matching process? Because I've been involved in a few pilot mentoring initiatives that have kind of failed at the matching stage to scale. It's probably in the content. It's just a question as to what the kind of vision is going forward.
So this program itself is built as a capability building around mentoring and leadership, mentoring for leadership and career impact. So it is the content around what makes a good mentee and mentor, some resources around, navigating various stages of both of the journeys, but it does not include a matching component. What it does include is how do you find a good mentor? Where do you find a mentor? How do you, when someone approaches you to be their mentor as a mentee, what are some of the steps and, how do you navigate those relationships? But it is not a matching program.
I think from our perspective at AMA, we did that fairly deliberately because I think we've all been involved in those sort of match speed dating, meet and greet, or you're allocated a mentor type processes, and it doesn't quite work because like mentorship does require a connection. There's got to be a bit of a spark and a bit of a reason that you're having a mentor-mentee relationship for a particular aspect of your career or life or other things. And as I've learned over these, people often have multiple mentors for different bits of their life. And so that's why we were particularly excited by this course idea that was less about a program itself and us trying to like match you with someone, but more about okay, how do we build, like how do we uplift the capability so that we feel more confident to approach people.
And that's an important insight as well, Danielle, and thank you for sharing that. And the literature actually suggests exactly that, right? And experiences with our partners is that often those matchmaking types don't work in a sustainable way. Some of them work and they're great, but often the majority, those matchmaking don't work. So it's about building capacity in how to seek mentoring or how to be a good mentor or mentee, you know, like how to be an effective mentee and really establishing those skills itself. So I've just bombarded the whole cohort with nudges from the system as we've been talking. So hopefully you all get a nudge email.
It looks like those have filtered through. There's a question from, we'll go Satyajit and then Shaya.
I just wanted to ask, the email you mentioned is something you sent just now, or there was an email to register, then there was another email to sort of mention about what is the program like that they were the last few days.
Yep. So
is there another email today and just now?
So you only need one email to access and work through the program. What you might get an automated email from the system now saying the program is now open and ready. It's officially launched. Last week we registered everyone via the email, so the email that was provided, and you will have gotten a welcome to the mentoring program. This program will be open soon. You can complete your, you know, the rest of your identity kind of checks and into any information around you. You know, there's an opportunity to upload a photo and fill in your profile if you want to. Otherwise, it just has the stock standard email and your first and last name from the information that was given. But you will get now automated emails from the system. But once you've logged on once, just bookmark that link and you'll always be able to go into it.
Thank you.
And I can see that.
Yeah, I just got the one email you sent now to register. Is that it?
Right.
Yep. Just register on that. Do it now or do it later? Sorry.
You can do it whenever you like. So the registration part takes you through, it'll ask you what your job role is and your position and any other information. And yeah, so yes, it's just the one link and that'll take you through.
Through the program. Okay. Thank you.
It sounds like some people got it a few days ago, but then others it wasn't working quite. They didn't get it in their main inbox, but it sounds like that's filtering through now for people who looked.
And any issues with that, just let me know. Just send an email to me and I'm happy for you to share. I'll put my email in the chat, but happy for you to share.
Lisa?
Thanks, and thanks for running the program. I guess I was just wondering if the AMA perhaps, or if anyone in general knows of areas or perhaps like meeting spaces where international grads who are looking for mentorship are like able to link up. Because having been an international grad myself, like I would have loved to have had a mentor, but I had no idea where to search for one or where to find one. And I work in a environment in a tertiary hospital where international grads are really rare, and it's not readily accessible. So I wonder if there are platforms that exist and if you could direct us to them once we've completed this.
A good question. I think that's it's an important one of like, what do we do as next steps? I suppose one I was going to mention in closing, but worth mentioning now is that our conference, Maha, who's our chair of our IMG committee and part of this group, but is also hosting at AMA 26 at our conference in about 6 weeks' time in Melbourne, coffee catch up one of the mornings for this group, but more broadly IMGs who are attending the conference to kind of catch up and network. And so hopefully I'll see many of you there, and that's an opportunity. But yeah, I think that's good. I'm not personally aware. I'll throw to Nikki in a sec if she knows of some other platforms and things. There are various, obviously, social media groups and things for doctors in different ways, shapes and forms. And it depends what style of mentorship you're after. If it's IMG specific, someone who's been through it before, is a few steps ahead on that process and trying to work out, okay, what stuff help could I have navigated? A number of the state AMAs as well as federal AMA at the moment have an IMG committee or groups that can participate. I don't think New South Wales has one at the moment, do they, Maha? Because some of the other states do. But one that we can take on board and maybe have a bit of a hunt around and provide in the information to participants afterwards if we come up with any pearls, or if any of you know of any and have found, other than your local work networks, if you found any good tips or tricks, then sharing them in the group would be good. I don't know if Nikki knows of any others in particular. Hope you're on mute.
My kids are in the background playing, I don't know what game at home, so I'm trying to quieten them out. The great tips for the local ones, I suppose, in this community will, have your own connections potentially. Also the platform that this program is offered via, once it's up and running, someone has asked there, would you lose access to the course after the 18th of August? That's for this program, and that is specifically for us to do the evaluation and revamp the program based on the feedback. But going forward, this platform has the capability within it, or functionality within it, to be able to connect with others, as in through discussion or peer groups on the platform itself, like a discussion board or a peer group board. So there's even potential in this platform to form networks, because understandably there will be mentees and mentors that are undertaking the program. So I suppose if that is a feature that you think would be of benefit, that maybe this platform can do, not necessarily matching you, because again that probably goes against what the whole intention of this is for, but at least to develop a community or hear and learn from others doing the program. And so we'll have to have a talk about, or a discussion about, how long the program is open for. So for this cohort, for the pilot, it's that short period for the purpose of the pilot. But moving forward, it may be like our other programs where we maybe have it open for 6 months or 12 months. It really just depends on what you all want from these programs. So yeah.
If that's proving useful along the way, provide like that sort of content. This is new. You guys are at the test guinea pigs, and this is why we value your input as much as hopefully we'll get as much out of this as you will, I hope. But if those sorts of things are helpful and useful, provide that feedback along the way. We'll see what we can do for you all as a cohort. You're a pretty small group. I think there's only 25 or 30 odd of you. And so whether it's through this platform or if there are great connections made, we can look at what we can do to facilitate, a way of you keeping in touch if you've built some good connections. And then obviously as the broader program is launched into next year, thinking about, how and where is that all supportive. So it's a bit of a work in progress, and appreciate all your patience as we learn along with you.
Yeah, and we're really open to that feedback, because some people really want, they want to be able to have the platform supports like social media groups, or, it supports those kind of meeting the people, meeting the program, meeting the people that are on the learning journey with you. That can be switched on or off. And I guess if just ask what features might be possible if there's something that you really would like, and we can look at the platform and say yes, that's possible, or no, we might need to rethink of a way that we can make that possible. So just throw us any ideas that you're thinking might be useful.
And any other questions people have, either on content or on the tech, or on why you're here? Was that what you expected? Heading in a direction that makes sense? And like Priyanka's put in, I think, it's really, even as someone, I think people look at, my career and they're like, oh, you must, have this all sorted, this whole mentorship idea. It often isn't as formal, I've found, this whole, when you say you've not been approached to be mentored or to be a mentee and all that kind of thing. I have a couple of sort of medical students and interns now that I think I'm probably their mentor, but we've never had that chat. And so maybe I think there is something to be said for having these skills to be able to, how do we have this conversation and have the what are we chat. And I know there's certainly some senior, not just clinicians. I've got a couple of non-medical people that I turn to for advice on some of my like board work and leadership skills and conflict management and things outside of my day job as a GP. And same thing, I think they know that they're my mentor. That's why we go for a wine every 6 months or so and talk about stuff that's challenging and learn from each other. But I think hopefully this course will equip you all to feel a bit more confident about when is this a mentor relationship and how do I know?
Yeah, these are great points as well, Danny. And as you go through, you'll hopefully see we have some scripts, some ideas for scripts about how do you navigate those discussions? How do you safe exit strategies? When you've got a mentor that or you're a mentee, and so we've got those kind of scripts and probes and resources in there for you to take away and think about as well. So yes, and how do you navigate those conversations?
The burning questions on people's brains? Or anything, Liz, Nikki, that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I've popped my, so thank you for popping in the chat, the MCHRI short courses. That is our general email. I also monitor that email. Otherwise, you can email me directly, same. Happy to, support however we can. And yeah, again, any feedback, just please be open and honest with your feedback, because we like to make sure we're tailoring this program to our partners. So.
Nikki, is it possible to send your email again? Sorry, I missed that. Your
Sure.
email, Nikki,
yeah,
please.
it's in the chat. I will get my chat up again. Yep.
Sure.
No worries.
It's an easy one, which is good. It's always handy when you've got an easy name and a short end.
Yes, there you go.
And I'll also have, so the program launches today. So if you haven't logged on and done your registration yet, do. I'm sure if people haven't in the next few days, Nikki will probably nudge again, because it is important to us that everyone participates. And so again, another huge thank you. I know you'll get a lot out of this, but also that it's a time commitment over a short period of time. And so really thank you for participating. Put your feedback in. Questions about CPD. My understanding is, yes, there'll be a CPD certificate with the estimated hours, but as hopefully you all know, you can self-log CPD hours. From the sounds of this course, there is stacks of reflective practice hours in it, and I know how much we all seek those. So having grilled the medical board chair on this on a number of occasions, you can feel free to self-assess kind of how much of this time was spent reflecting. And it is, it's a course that's built with lots of interactive stuff in it. So if there was ever audits of things, it's an accredited course through a university with lots of reflection. So don't be shy to log it as reflective practice hours. And I know it's more about your learning outcomes, but I know we all care about the CPD hours too in this second half of the year when we're all panicking about how we're going to fill those 50.
Yeah, you'll definitely get a lot of, and if you do the activities embedded within the program, I would say it's more than 8 hours. If you really were to, reflect on them, you could definitely beef that up because it's, depends on how quick you want to reflect, right? So,
and I have checked in with the medical board, and if you're honestly logging the time that you really did spend on things, that's okay. So enjoy it. I hope it's good fun. I can't wait to hear how it all goes. We look forward to hearing your feedback via Monash. As I said, it's de-identified, but we really do hope you get a lot out of it. And feel free to reach out if you wanted to. You've got contact details for Liz, who you can see on screen, who's our AMA main point of contact, Nikki at Monash and Macquarie. If there's any issues at all, do touch base with us, and hopefully we'll see many of you in real life at the end of August, so 28th, 29th in Melbourne. It's my brain doing its thing, at AMA 26. It'd be great to catch up for a coffee and see each other at that conference if you can make it.